How about my dearest YouTube friends? Today we are in a new video. And friends, the other day I wondered what are the 6-star characters that are still missing to come out as 7-star characters. Characters that are Gosier, who are Memetier, who are normal. So I said, well, why don't I make a video about the 7 out of 6-star characters that are not 7, and more or less calculate the probability that they will come out soon. In the superhero battle, then friends, the truth is that I got a pretty big surprise because there are 109 6-star characters that have not yet gone out of 7 stars, and the truth is I am quite shocked that we still have such a high number of 6 stars, even knowing that we are at 4 out of 7 stars. So the truth is that it seems outrageous to me that there are still so many characters, and on top of that, as iconic and as good as the story in this sea of superheroes. So catch you, popcorn friends, because there are 109 characters that must be ranked in this tier list. And shall I show you what the rankings are? Basically, since it is very likely that this character from 6 stars to 7 stars will come out in 2025, very likely, but he has already gone through 2026. And you will see why these two factors, because depending on the films that come out in the MCU or any other type of characteristics, well, we are going to put it on one side or the other. Unlikely. Which are basically going to be characters that are going to come out but very far behind the impossible ones, which are already there. A few characters that are involved here, like Hercules, for example, and the confirmed ones of 7, because yes, friends, we already have confirmed characters of 7 stars that are going to come out this year and that we more or less already know. So, well, without further delay, we are going to start with Abomination Immortal Friends, which is a character that I believe is very likely to be made in 2025. It is a character that, yes, that requires the PR 200, and it is a character that is very likely to get 7 stars due to the damage it has, because many characters are already immune to poison. They come out with that immunity, so it is very likely that it will come out. They have good damage due to that wave of poison. I don't remember what it's called, but it's very, very good. I also have to tell you that it's going to be a long video, so grab some popcorn, because there are 109 characters that we analyze in Abomination. I think it is also very likely, but it is going to be more in 2026 because he is not such a good character. The truth is that I would also care a little if it came out of 7 stars. Therefore, I would rather see this Immortal Abomination. Absorbing Man, I see it as quite impossible. Yes, it is true that it may be unlikely to see it, but the fact that they absorb 7 stars can completely break the dynamics of the game with the theme of defense and attack, which is such a beast that the character has. If right now the 6-star with Dust continues to work for many accounts in Battlegrounds, I don't want to imagine a 7-star Eagle. The truth is that it is also a fairly probable character, but I think it is going to go to 2000. The 26th, let's remember that it is a character that is for long content. Necropolis style, Abyss of Legends style, Kingdom of Legends, Labyrinth. And in the end, it is a character that requires him for 200 to be totally a beast. Apart from the fact that he basically needs that uniqueness to be good, I think it is not going to come out so soon because I already think there are better characters to give that long content. Agent Venom, I think so that it is quite likely that it will come out in 2025. Let's remember that he is not such a good character. He can simply work well for you in defense thanks to that tenacity he has, and also with that synergy that I think it is with the Winter Soldier, that those hemorrhages turn them into madness, which I think that's why it hasn't appeared in the game. Eyewalker is very likely beyond 2026. He is not a relevant character, and apart from that, he is a character that is a little like Nilux. I think so. He is an unlikely character because he is a very top character defender who in fact right now has 6 stars and continues to annoy many people. So that's why I think it's one of the possibilities that it hasn't come out of 7 Anti-Venom. I think so, that it's very likely in 2025. I think since it's from the Spider-Verse and so on. Is Adman of the Future more likely to come out this year? I think it's very unlikely. The same thing happens to him that Conan Ilus has a great defense, and currently even in Alliance Wars, the 6-star one is behaving very, very well and is still a tough enough bone to kill. So he is a full defensive character who is also a good attacker, but imagining a 7-star 3.1 Alman of the Future can be very, very difficult. Human Torch, I think it's going to be quite impossible for it to come out. I'm not saying that. Unless it's not likely, okay, because it's very unlikely. But let's remember that Antoximenes is one of the best scientific characters we had to give to the Mystics. Literally, with the Nova Flame, any Mystic in the game was bursting. So I think it doesn't get 7 stars from there. Apart from that, we must also say that this is a Galarity. It doesn't work at all. That's how it helps him, logically, like all the characters. But it doesn't require it to be the Gautier as he is of the Matamasticos par excellence. So Antoxemana, I think it will be between possible and unlikely to come out of 7 stars Apocalypse. I think so. It is quite likely that it will come out this year. He is a character that doesn't really have brute strength. He doesn't have brute damage. He just has quite a bit of utility within the contest, thanks to those efficiencies, thanks to the fact that he can turn all mutant characters into horsemen of the Apocalypse. So it is rather used as a synergy, although I, for example, use a lot of intake. And the truth is that I am looking forward to this character going out of 7 stars, well, to give it a rank of 3, because Archangel, a character that is between impossible and unlikely, because in the end he is a very, very top character, and the same thing happens to him that happened to Io. It is a character that requires 200 because basically, and I think it is one of the reasons why it has not been rated 7 stars, and it is because it removes the accuracy of the defender's skills by composing that amount of neurotoxins. Since you take away the advantages that the defender has, therefore I think it is one of the Gothiers that we have that we are going to see quite far away. Very unlikely to see the 7-star ones. Wasp. However, I think it will go out of 7 stars. Very good character. I think this is one of my favorite candidates that is going to come out soon, because in the end it is a very, very good character that has totally absurd damage, and that I am looking forward to it coming out to try it out. Baron Simo already had the probability is good. They already had the opposition to give it 7 stars, and they did not put it with the old event. I don't remember what 4th of July was or anything like that, where we were able to get a 6-star balloon, and they didn't give us the chance to get the 7-star one. So I think it's going to be unlikely in the future, because there they could have put it perfectly. Vesty Friend, I think it is very likely, but starting in 2026, because I believe that they are going to do a rework for this character. I don't know when or how or when, but I believe that they are going to do a rework, and I think it is very likely. But starting in 2026, when in the MD, for example, the issue of Black Ball Mutants grows, another character that is quite likely to come out beyond 2026 with 7 stars, a character that is a meme, and that they will surely also give him a rigor because he deserves it. He's a very powerful character in the comics. We have Classic Black Widow, which in this case I think yes, which is quite likely to come out in 2025. I think it will be through a reward, through an event or something like that. The character itself is not that good, but it is true that it lowers your skill accuracy with that unique ability. I think that from 80 onwards it can be working for you. So I think the Classic Black Widow can come out, Vulture can also come out. I believe that beyond 2026 he is a rather forgotten character, and that he has neither attack nor defense force. I don't like it at all. Gentleman Luna, in this case, I think they are going to do a rework, but the rework is going to be from 2026 or later. Devenjo is a character that right now does not have attack or cable defense force. However, I think it is going to get 7 stars. He is a very, very top character. Simply with the synergy of Apocalypse, it turns all the hard hits into pain degeneration disadvantages, and with that, it does quite a bit of damage. So for me, Cable, I'm looking forward to it going out of 7 stars. Captain America in the World War, I think it is very likely that it will come out of 7. And I think Captain America, I think one of them was confirmed. I don't remember if it was this one or not. It was confirmed out there by a forum that a rigor was going to come out of this character, and that they were going to make him 7 stars. So I don't remember which of these two are. If you had the information, leave it in the comments. Captain Britain is a character that is also going to be quite likely to come out in 2025 as 7 stars, a character that is quite good. What happens is that she is quite secretive. In other words, her potential has never been seen. I have a video so that we remember that Captain Britain had to do it with a challenge from Karina, and I uploaded the video explaining the character and the truth that he was quite successful and has very good damage if you know how to develop it well. The only thing clear that in the end this is 6 stars is pretty much forgotten. Captain Marvel, classic 7-star character that I think is going to come out in 2016. More character that requires a buff. The truth is quite important, almost land. A character that I think is going to be unlikely to get out of 7 stars in the short term, because in the end he is a pretty top character, very good damage, good defense, the combo detonator that in defense may be working, has the electric stings. He is a character, the truth is that he is quite complete, and I think it is very difficult for us to see 7 stars in the near future. we see the stubble, the stubbornness we have here of the well, of the stubbornness we have in the cosmic class. Cosmic Rider, I think it is another character that we are going to see very, very far from 7 stars, and maybe it is even impossible. Let's remember that this character does not require his duplicate to be a piece of God, and the truth is that I find it very difficult for him to leave 7, because when he leaves 7 you can already be enjoying him and getting his maximum potential out of him. Now he has great damage, and I'm telling you that. And it seems very difficult to me for him to leave 7 in the short term, because he knows that Caban would break the Squirrel Girl game. I think it is going to be very likely, because by 2026 we are going to see it cycle, but we already know that it is confirmed as 7 out of 7 stars. In fact, we are waiting for its rework. I think that by August, I think it was more or less, and they will change us, well, also their profile icon and so on. A red Cyclops, I think we are going to see it starting in 2026. They haven't said anything about whether they are going to do a buff or something like that, like the one in blue, but I think we will see it beyond 2026. We have Black Widow Clearboy, in which I believe that also, along with the Wasp, as I have said before, I believe that it is one of the strongest probabilities that we have of seeing the 7-star one, because it is a character that does not require duplication to be a goddess. Let's remember he has triple immunity depending on where you are, what curse you're on, so to speak, and Black Widow to me. I really like it, and I have used the 6-star one for some monthly supervision, and the truth is that I really like it. Unstoppable Colossus Friends was 7 stars, but let's remember that it is a trophy character, so to speak, and it was already 7, but no one bought it, and they lowered it from 6 again, so I think it is unlikely that it will be released again for sale at 7 stars. So Unstoppable Colossus is here to stay. Cool Obsidian, I think it will be likely from 2026. He is not such a good character. Well, and the truth is that I wouldn't really care if it came out of 7 classic Daredevil. I think more of the same. In fact, they have not taken the opportunity to give him a buff with taking advantage of the Daredevil Hell's Kitchen series. Well, Born Again is called Daredevil Born and Game Born Again. Damn, I don't know how to speak. They haven't taken advantage of it, and they could have given it the 7-star one and a buff. What I do have to do here, and why it's not on this list, is that Daredevil Cooks from Hell. The character we have has already been removed from 7 stars through some little bells that you have to be in. Salt Teeth, folks, I think it is very likely through 2026 when the themes of mutants return to Lems. Oops, I think they will give it a rigor or something like Dr. Don Amigo. I think it is quite unlikely that it will come out of 7 stars. Impossible is not because in the end he is a character who is a very good controller, but he does not have totally massive damage, but he does have a very beast use, and Caval knows it. All the new accounts that come out with Doctor where 6 stars raise it. Apart from the fact that you are a quite important character and quite loved throughout the community, I think there is very little talk about it coming out, but I have a small hope that with the Avengers Doomsday theme, the MCU movie, well, it will come out of 7 stars. Okay, if that is the case, it would be more than 2026, but I think it will be unlikely. I hope it comes out. Okay, friends, it is also a character that requires the 200 to be a pretty good character. Dr. Octopus, I think it will be very likely, but around 2026, I don't think it will come out soon. However, Dr. Stream, I think so, which is going to be very likely, because let's remember that in our vote on the rework, we chose Cyclops, because we also have the possibility of Doctor Strange appearing. So we already know how Caban works when they give you the Summer Showdown, the rework showdown, because basically it is also like showing the characters where they are. Interested in adding that buff or that character exit? In this case, I think we are going to see it in 2025 with 7 stars. I don't know if it will be with rewards. I don't know if it will be without rewards, but I think it is very likely that it will come out until 2025. Dr. Voodoo, I think he is another character that we will see, but very, very far away. A character who was one of the first characters to put poison into games. A quite strong spiritual poison, but right now I think his use has dropped quite a bit. Dormammu, I think he is another character than Low. Very, but that far from 6 stars to give, or more of the same. Drags, more of the same. Green Goblin, more of the same. In the end, they are characters that I am moving from them pretty fast because they are pretty Meg the Champion, more of the same. In fact, the Champion is a character that I think Cavan created and still has it 6 stars. I think he already deserves a 7-star character that puts him here. Electro Friend, I think, is quite unlikely. He is a character that basically has quite high thorn damage if the 6-star one with Dust. It works in water as if defenseless. I don't want to imagine a 7-star in range 3 Electro. Yes, it is true that it also requires 200 for that thorn damage to be even stronger. So I see it as quite complicated for it to go from 7 stars for defense. Scorpion Friends, another quite impossible character. You are already seeing that in Impossible. I am putting almost all the god tier that we have here in the 6-star games. Scorpion is a character who came to literally break the game. Let's remember that he has triple immunity to poison breakage and high voltage that I didn't remember depending on those in the prelude that we activate has totally absurd damage per burst of sting, leaving the disadvantages that we select in the prelude, and I think it is a very difficult character for us to see 7 stars or unlikely, and today maybe if we see it, it will be from the end. What Scorpio doesn't need to subduplicate to do that piece of damage it has. We have Phoenix Friends that this has already been confirmed as 7 stars. It is basically the chase saga that we are going to have in this Darphenix saga. Its BUF is already confirmed and its new design is confirmed, and it is confirmed that it will come out of 7 stars with the feathers. Okay? If you want to see the video on how to get it, you have it on the Galan Amigos channel. A character that could be impossible, but I think it has already been heard around and it will be unlikely. We will surely see it sooner rather than later, but we don't know when or how. He is a character that also has ultra-massive damage. He is a very good character that I hope we have him with 7 stars to get that maximum damage out. And on top of that, it also happens like an Apocalypse that we can make Herald of Galactus to any character. I think that Cosmic can also be other classes. That's already slipping a little for me. But Galan is a very good character. Ghost Rider, another character that I think will be likely for 2026. But I think that they are going to go out of 7 stars when they really give the character a buff, because I think he deserves it. Ghost Friends, I think it's another character that's going to be impossible. He is a character that has always been the queen of failure, the queen of damage, is in the end also requires 1 by 200, and with this character all the content was passed quite easily. Let us also remember that each bank, to neutralize it, removed nodes in which there could not be a failure. Could they then gain power as Bosch did? Let's remember that for 200 he gains a power simply by going backwards and hitting us in the fault. It's just that it's a piece of character that I don't think we're going to see 7 stars soon. Gold Pull Friends, I think it is going to be unlikely, because let's remember that we already have Platinum Pull of 7. The Search and the Gold Pull have not yet said anything. Let's remember that we have the Gold Crystals of the Gold Pull and they have not yet come out. So that means to me that the 7-star one is going to arrive, but quite far away. I think that a character may also stay here at 6 stars. Brutal Friend, I think he is a character quite likely to get out of 7 stars, and I think the character deserves a reward. We'll see if they don't want to bring him. Friend Red Guardian is a character that I think will also be quite impossible not to come out. Let's remember that it was a 2024 rewards that turned out so well that they had to nerf it before officially launching it when the CPS tried it. And for me, Red Guardian is a character that I like. He has totally absurd damage, and I think that's why it's going to be quite impossible for him to get out of 7 stars. Gilio has another character created by Caban himself, who has had the possibility that Caban will bring him 7 stars. To games, and he hasn't done it with the Daedals. They already brought us Guillotine Daedals, and there they could have brought us 7-star Guillotini, a character he says I consider to do quite a bit of damage from the disadvantages of bleeding and has a very good use. It received a couple of bugs too, but I think we are going to see it further. That's why I tell you that I see it as unlikely, either because they have had opportunities to remove it from 7 stars handle. In this case, I see it as quite unlikely. It is a character that in the end makes you half immortal when they are going to kill you. Create you become unstoppable and indestructible, and that is why they are already limiting the use of 7-star characters in certain missions in the Everest content, such as Gauntlet, so that you basically do not carry the character and therefore do not get killed. So that makes me think that Hendal is not going to get out of 7 stars anytime soon. Hello, another character that is very unlikely. I don't know why, but the truth is that the character doesn't beat me. It doesn't tell me anything, and I don't think it's going to get out of 7 stars anytime soon. Hercules, however, is a character that is going to be impossible. It has already been confirmed by Cavan that it will not come out of 7. I think it will not come out of 7. Furthermore, Cavan, you have already seen that offers have come out. For example, when Satra came out from selling you to Gladiator, or Quicksilver and Hercules, they all went from 7 stars. Then Hercules gives me that it's at the bottom of the memory chest. Hulk Ragnarok, I think so. He is a fairly probable character with quite good damage, and that in defense he can be of great use to you, so I think it is quite likely that he will get 7 stars. Then friends, we have Hulkling, who is another character that I see as quite impossible to come out, although I think he is one of the most likely that we have here on the impossible list, but we will see if Kaban brings him to us. Of course, once it gets out of 7 stars, it will become a tireless search for it. Iron Fist, the truth that he gives me a lot, just like him. Mortal, these two characters don't really care to me if they come out. Just like Iron Patriot, just like you, Billy, just like Kamala Khan, they are characters that actually don't really care to me, and that's why I'm sending them through 2026, because I consider that these characters require more to come out of 7 stars soon. So I have told you, Karna, that in this case, I think they are going to release it for 2026 more. It is a character that does not call so much on the bug that they did to her because it was not good. Kate Visa for Friends, another character that we could, so it hurts me a lot, friends, because we are going to have obtained it from 7 stars, because when they launched the characters of 7 stars, that gave us to choose skilled characters, and since we did not know the potential that we used that could be used with Kate Bishop, Sanchi was chosen. A character you'll already do? I think so. We are never going to see her more than 7 stars because she is a character that has literally been seen made in a pass of zero shape micropliss resurrectors with this Kid Visa, and I think Sokaban knows it with that cold wave damage with the arrows, and on top of that it has a very dynamic gameplay that I don't think is going to get out of 7 stars. But I think it will be in the trunk of memories like Hercules King Group. Friend, I think it will come out, but I think it will come out this 2025. The same thing happens to Guillotine, but I think I don't know why. It gives me the feeling that King Group is going to come out of 7 stars, another character created by Kaman. By the way, Kimping, a character that I also see as quite impossible to get out of 7 stars, although I think I see it as unlikely. Rather because it is impossible. It's not because the truth is that Kimping is a good defender, a good attacker, but he's not as beast, he's not as bursting like this, okay? Kitty Press. However, I do see it as quite impossible. The character who has a transient similar to that of Gospel, on the other hand, instead of item making it look forward when you take it for 200, all the damage you receive when you are in failure you do not receive, therefore they dig that, he knows it, and they can get a lot of nerfs on you. With the synergy of Tigra it becomes unblockable, which by the way, with Ghost I have not said that the synergy of the Degwasp also makes you unblockable with super attacks. Loki, however, I do see it. I see it very likely in 2025 because let's remember that Avengers Doomsday is coming, a fairly well-known character, and let's hope that they take him out of 7 stars, and surely with a reward because Loki is very, very important, and in the end, quite characteristic of the game that I hope it comes out of 7 stars. Magic, however, impossible, I don't know because I haven't included Quake either, but he is an impossible character. Let's remember that it's not even 6 stars. Magic, Quake should be here. It's also going to be impossible for them to get out of 6 stars because they're locked out of even 5 stars. Magneto, I think I also see it quite impossible. He is a character who also literally broke the game when they did the buff, because all the characters who are lost metal are totally blown up, so I see it as quite impossible. I'm sorry, I see it as unlikely because it is another character that happens to him with Manilos. He is a very defensive character that does very good damage. In fact, he has been seen to shine in battlegrounds in Alliance Wars, and more of the same thing happens to him. He is a full defender character that I think is quite difficult for him to leave 7 Mice morale. It is another character that I see as unlikely because it is true that the character is not used that much, but it has great development in long fights. For example, you can go to Diego Fettuccini's channel that has it used. Mr. Fantastic, I think it's also unlikely because it's going well. I think not. I think it's you can go to 2026 when they put the Avengers Doomsday movie, even to 2025 with the Fantastic Four movie. But I don't know. I think this character deserves a rework, and I don't know. I have quite a few unknowns with this character. So friends, we already know that it is going to come out confirmed at 7 stars because they are going to give it a buff confirmed by Cadavan. Therefore, we leave it here. Since it will only come out at 7 stars, then it can be perfectly like our Red Guardian friend who we have here. Don't leave after 7 because the bus is so beautiful, Morningstar. I think this is quite probable because let's remember that we also have it in the woman's choice right now, so it may be probable. Okay, Miss Malvel, the truth is that I don't really care. As if Nebula is leaving for 2026, the truth is that I also don't really care. As if Nick Fury is leaving for 2026, I see it as quite impossible. He's a very good character both in defense and attack, shining more in defense. Of course, if people suffer with a rank 5 with 6-star powders, imagine with a 7-star in rank 3, another character who requires 200 for his defense to shine, so that that second life doesn't go down so quickly. But in this case, I think Nini Fury is between unlikely and impossible. We're gonna make it impossible because you never know how Kavan can be. I hope we get that good feeling. We have Night Russell that I think will stop by 2026. The truth is that I don't care about Nimro friends, I think so, which is quite likely because let's remember that now they have removed us this March of 2025 to the good-natured Bastion, the definitive Sentinel. But Nimrod, I think it is more likely to leave 7 stars this year. I don't know why I get the feeling. Then we have the bad Logan, which the truth is I don't really care about. Very likely for 2026 we have Rogue, which I think is also quite likely to get 7 stars because we remember what it is going to be. I think she will be in second place for the woman who requires a reward, in this case a Rogue. I think it will receive a minimum of 7 stars, and maybe in the future reward, okay, we have the next one to Mindit that I think I will see for 2016. It's also where the powerful women thing is, but he's not getting votes. Psychoman, a character that I see as very likely, but very far away. Saylock, more of the same. Punisher, I think it's pretty unlikely. Is it the same as the Unstoppable? A character who is in the end is quite a trophy, so to speak, and I don't think he's going to go out of 7 stars anytime soon. Maybe they invent a new Sand Crystal and that Punisher can come out. In fact, I want it to come out of 7 stars, but they make it a good one because the character deserves it, or another Punisher character comes out. Then friends, we have Reno, who I don't really care if he comes out of 7 stars. He's quite a messy character. Do you realize that most of the MSC characters have not come out of 7 stars, and we really appreciate it. Ronan, a character who is also unlikely to make it out of 7 stars because in the end he is a character who has been seen to shine. I don't remember if it was last summer with a brutal DLX challenge where the greater the advantage I have over the opponent, you can throw super attack 1 and you are going to stun him infinitely. We have Sapo or Toad, who I think is another unlikely character because he is a quite defensive character. He stuns you in random ways, he leaves you poisons that are passive. He is a fairly complete character in defense, so I see it difficult for him to get out of 7. Styler Centurion, however, it gives me the feeling that it is going to go out of 7 stars. He is probably a character that has good damage, quite undervalued, and I like him a lot, and I hope that when the 7-star one gets a lot more excited. Spider-Man Broad Stealth, I think it's going to be unlikely due to the amount of strength that the attacker has. As a defense, it can also work for you thanks to that evaded attack, but I think his strength is in attack, and that's why I think it's not going to leave 7 stars. Spider-Man Symbionte, very probable. We have Star-Lord, very unlikely. In fact, they could have already raised it from 7 stars, and they haven't done so, and they haven't even included a reward or anything like Super Scroll. I think it's another very unlikely one. They also had the opportunity to give him a reward and give him a boo, and give and take him out of 7 stars with the series that we had of Marvel Secret Invasion, and they didn't do it. So I think they are going to leave it there in the Taskmaster trunk. I think so. It is quite likely that they will also add a kind of reward on top of it, because let's remember that the Thunderbolt is coming and maybe Taskmaster is included here for a reward or to raise it from 7 stars. Torgem Foster, the truth is that I don't really care about a character who is quite meg. Even with his buff, we leave him here. We have Tom Ragnaro, who also had the position, but they didn't with the Thornla of Thunder movie, so I see it pretty far. Tigra is an unlikely character. He is a very good character, of the only characters that allow you to make the failure of all the strip characters in super attacks, or special, how to say it, of bullets, so to speak, of projectiles. Damn, I couldn't get the name. It can make you the mistake of any character who throws projectiles, and that is a pretty fat use on top that has its strong hit with quite a length of movement, and that allows you to leave quite a few breaking disadvantages and then explode them with super. It is very good. Ultron is already confirmed as 7 stars. Let's remember that last year they introduced a new functionality of more experience levels, and I think that at level 70, well, they are going to be giving us this Ultron of 7. In fact, the of 6 right now cannot be obtained because it is at level 65, which we have not reached yet. We are at 62, and I believe that Ultron's level 7 is very confirmed, so that it will pay for level 70. Valkyria, a character that I see as quite impossible also, because it literally breaks the game with that gameplay that it also has. Yes, it is true that I see it as unlikely. No, not so impossible. But being a Gautier, I see it as they are going to take it very, very far away. we have vision that in reality I see very unlikely. That is, I see it very likely. But beyond 2026, I saw vision, another character. I see it as unlikely, very good character performance. He's got good defense, good offense. So it's a character that I see very, very difficult for him to get out of 73 because he doesn't need duplicates to be good. Our Obadites in Winter, which is basically our proving ground par excellence. Winter Soldier gives me that it won't come out until 2026 or more. Wolverine is confirmed from Equus 23. Let's remember that I believe she's going to be the winner 100% of Powerful Women. So we're going to get rework, and we're going to get Buffio, and we're also going to get the 7-star one. I believe Wolverine, I believe that it will come out of 7 stars. He is a character whose model has just been changed, and right now his popularity in the Marvel world is quite great. So I don't know, I think it gives me the feeling that it is going to go out of 7 stars soon. Although let's remember that it is not a good character at all. Yellow Jacket for me is a character that is quite likely a defender. And little else, the truth is I don't like it very much. And finally, Yondu, the character's bus is also confirmed along with the, so that we don't know if the 7 stars are there, but I think so. So friends, I think it would be like this, so to speak. All the characters that we still have left to leave 7 stars, especially to me, what gives me the most importance is where the god tier are that are normally found here. There are some, so up here, such as for example, it can be Nimrod, it can be Black, White, or Clairvoyant, but above all these characters that in the end are the important ones, Hercules, Red Guardian, Vost, Scorpio, I find it very difficult for them to get out of 7 stars, and I think they are going to be buried in the trunk of 6-star memories. So friends, let me know in the comments what you thought of this tier list. I hope you liked the video suggestion estas, and see you in other videos. Bye bye.